We were saying that the concept curriculum has various interpretations. So we started by looking at one of the definitions that have been raised by Taba 1962. And according to Taba, curriculum is a way of preparing young people to participate as productive members of culture. So I said that per this definition, school has some kind of aims and objective that it wants its members to realize at the end of the day. And the aim and the objective based on this definition is to make an individual a productive member of their culture. What are some of the things will the school engage learners in it, or what are some of the things that schools are going to do so that the individuals will become good participators of their society? That is by providing them some body of knowledge, some skills, some attitudes, and some values. You see, we have some kind of academic and non-academic program that the school would take the learners through. Apart from that, there are some kind of instruction, method of instruction. There are some kind of aims and objectives that schools will take learners through so that such aims and objectives will be realized. I said the aim, based on the Tabe's definition, is to make the learner a good participant of his or her society. That is why I said, although you have enrolled yourself on this program, at the end of the day, when things work in a way as it's supposed to be, you would able to have some kind of personal development because of the knowledge that you are going to obtain, because of some kind of skills and attitudinal development. That will be on the personal development. But the other side is also that you would contribute your quota to the society, because the knowledge that you are going to receive throughout this program, the attitudes, the values, and others, you would also use to ensure some kind of change in your community. So that is what Taba was talking about. So based on Taba definition, you have to ask yourself this question: why do we go to school? Why? What do we do in school? You can give answers to this. Why do you go to school? Why have you enrolled yourself on this program? And what are some of the things do we do in school? What are some of the things are you going to do so far as this your program is concerned? How are things being organized in school? So you add up all these things and side with Taba, because these things that we do in school, how things are being organized in school, why we go to school, would make you a good participant of your community. So in case you are being asked to define curriculum, it is one of the ways you can define it. That's why we are saying that the concept curriculum doesn't have a fixed definition and can be taken from different domain, different angle, and different what perspective. Please, let's move on to another proponent who has also tried to define curriculum, and that proponent is Wheeler, 1967. He defines curriculum as a structured learning experience offered to learner under the guidance of what? Of the school. You see, in school, there are what we call learning experience or learning experience that are structured. When we talk of learning experience, we are talking about some forms of interaction that exist between the learners in school and the external condition of the school environment where the learner can react or it can be the interaction that exists between the learner or the teacher and the learner, and other external condition of the environment in which the learner can what? The learners can react. So talking about the various resources that are available in school, talking about the teachers, talking about the school facilities and all other materials that are involved so that the learner will be able to realize whatever intention, okay, is also called a curriculum. So don't forget also that these learning experiences that learners are being offered, learners will be able to dance to the tune of these learning experience under the guidance of what? Of the school or even the teacher. This interaction that we are talking about, if learners are not being guided by the school or by the teacher, at the end of the day, things will not be structured in a way that will let the learner achieve the various intentions. So that is according to Wheeler. Balogun et al., 1981, also believed that curriculum is a written document of educational experiences which the school proposes to provide or create for children the aims, materials, and procedures of such what? Experiences. So that is according to Balogun et al. He also means that when we talk of curriculum, we are talking about a written document of educational experience that have been written down, okay, that the school is able to provide or propose or create for children so that the children would, at the end of the day, obtain some kind of aims, objectives, and some other intentions. That is according to Balogun et al. So curriculum is a broad term interpreted by various actors from their own perspectives. However, the definition from a broader dimension should include variables such as, we want to say that the concept curriculum is something that is broad and it can be interpreted to mean several variables. But no matter, pay attention, no matter how that we will try to define the concept curriculum, it should include these variables, or it can be interpreted to mean these variables. One, academic and non-academic activities. What we mean is that a curriculum can mean academic and non-academic what? Activities. When we talk of academic activities and non-academic activities, what are we talking about here? When we talk of academic and non-academic activities, what are we talking about here? If a curriculum has to do with academic and non-academic activities, what are we talking about here? Can somebody help? So when we talk about academic activities, we are talking about those activities that are directly related to your formal education and the coursework. They are tasks that are required for your classes and grades. For example, maybe writing essays, conducting research, doing a lab experiment, studying for exams, and attending what? Lectures. These are the examples of what? Academic what? Activities. And the non-academic activities, they are often called the extracurricular activities. Extracurricular what? Activities. They are things you do outside of your required coursework, or they are forms of activities that do take place outside the classroom. They contribute to your personal growth and skills, but aren't what graded. Examples include maybe playing a sport, joining a debate club, okay, engaging some kind of volunteering activities in your communities, then learning a musical instrument or having a particular part-time job. My good friends, are you okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, please. Yes, sir.
So we want to say
Yes, sir.
that though curriculum is a broad term, it can be interpreted by various experts from their own perspective. But the definition, no matter how broader that it will be, it should include variables such as academic and non-academic activities. So now I have justified what we mean by academic and non-academic activities. Then it should also include content and subject matter. Your definition or the definition of curriculum can also deal with content and subject matter. It can also deal with the method of instruction. Then it could also deal with aims and objectives among others. So based on objective and others, we can say curriculum is a program of activities designed so that pupils will attain as far as possible certain educational aims or objectives. Oh, so when we are asked to define maybe a concept curriculum based on aims and objectives, you can say that a curriculum is said to be what? A program of activities designed so that pupils will attain as far as possible certain educational aims or objectives. This definition was put forward by somebody known as what? Hext. Hext, 1968. 1968. So, my good friends, get it that we don't have a fixed definition in reference to curriculum. It can be interpreted to mean several body of knowledge. But no matter how that you would define it, you shouldn't deviate from the concept one, curriculum as academic and non-academic activities. Two, from maybe content and subject matter that learners are being made to go through so that maybe they would function well in the community. Then you shouldn't also forget about the fact that it's a method of instruction, a method through which students are made to learn a particular body of knowledge so that they could also go out there and function well. Then it can also be taken as aims and objectives and among others. I think you are convinced now. Now, when you are being asked to define a curriculum, you can take it from the various issues that we have raised. But why? Now the question is, what do you think are the reasons for different meanings of the curriculum? Yeah, can somebody help? Why do you think that there are several reasons for the different meanings of curriculum? Why do you think that the concept curriculum can be interpreted from different angle or different perspective? Why? I am waiting for you. Yeah. My good friends, why is it that there are different reasons? Or what do you think there are reasons, several reasons for different meanings of curriculum? Selena, I see you are. Why?
Sir, I'm here.
Answer my question. When you are able to answer the question, that would show that you are here.
Sir, can you please come again? My line is breaking and I don't know. That's why I'm
It
quiet too. I'm
it is
not
not. It
getting
is
things.
not. It is not breaking. It is. It is. I can hear
So,
anything loud. Loud. Reason
so
for
you're
the different meanings of curriculum. That was the question. Why
okay.
is it that there are different meanings of curriculum? So far as this our program is concerned. Mhm.
Per the definition we had earlier on concerning the word curriculum and how you gave us a Latin word, it
Okay.
doesn't stick with a particular definition, or it doesn't stick with a particular coming from a particular direction because it carries several avenues of fields, other subjects that had to come in. It is not a particular thing that is being done here. So generally, because it's a combination of different fields having the same objective, those fields that are coming along may also have their definition. So consequently, we can't have a particular perception or particular view about this particular um, subject or the issue at stake because
Thank you,
it's
Auntie Selena. Thank you. You've made your point. Okay, so let's hear from Alfred Ansu. Alfred Ansu.
All right, thank you very much. In fact, the proponent of the various definitions for curriculum
Yeah.
as a result of how they had their experiences or how they analyze what goes into curriculum development. In fact,
Okay.
within the educational context, you can see that there are a lot of activities or experiences that learners will go through. Even when we take the academic aspects, there are a lot of things that will go in there. The non-academic activities too, or even the co-curricular activities, just as you said, there are a lot of things. So based on that, based on the observation and based on what goes into that, the proponent of the various definitions, they came out with a different definition for curriculum.
Thank you, Mr. Maswell Labi. Let's hear you.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Uh, I think that there are different educational philosophers,
Okay.
and like the first speaker spoke, each of these philosophers have their personal experiences in diverse fields. So you realize that in the field of sports or in the field of tradition, the explanation a philosopher will give there will differ from how a philosopher in education might also explain. And so each of these philosophers uh, have their own experiences in different fields, hence, this diverse explanation of the word curriculum. Thank you.
Okay. Samuel Kobina. Kobi, let's hear you.
Okay, sir. Hello.
Yeah, Kobi.
So, just as we are learning over here, it means that education is not static. Where we have
Mm-hmm.
people with different views. So therefore,
Okay.
things that we learn evolves, like goes through a lot of changes based on society, based on culture, based on philosophy. So that is why we
Okay.
have different definitions for curriculum, sir.
Okay. I beg, as I indicated on the page, always try and read the slides before you come to class. Okay. Before you join the online sessions, I I pushed or I posted the slides that we are going to deal with in reference to this lecture on the page. I think yesterday or the day before yesterday. So it has been on the page for about 2 days now. So you should go through so that you'll be able to learn more before we meet. So we will say that reasons for different meaning of curriculum, okay, as a result of one, there are varied views and specific value orientations each person put on the curriculum. You see, we are different people and our perspectives are not the same. The various experts that have tried to come out with the various knowledge concerning the curriculum development and the design also come from different angles. Their values of orientation are not the same. Their value of orientation are not the same. So coming to look at what we mean by curriculum, they might come from different angles. What they see as worthwhile, what they see as worthwhile, very important, that should be, let's say, factored, that should constitute a curriculum, might not be the same. So we are talking about the first one, which is what? Varied views and specific values of what? Orientation. Please, are you okay with that? Oh. Apart from that,
Yes, sir, we are here.
most people who are engaged in curriculum deliberations fail to consider fully its essential and multiple and dynamic nature. So we want to say that there are reasons for the different meanings of curriculum, or for the fact that various actors, various proponents, and experts that have also tried to come out with various knowledge concerning curriculum have also failed to consider fully how essential and that of the multiple and dynamic nature of it. The essential nature, the dynamic, and the multiplicity of what? Of the curriculum. That is, each expert may see only a small part and not the same part that others see. Experts may not see the overall changing picture and may insist that the part they see is all there is to see. That is according to what? Marsh and Willis, 2007. So let me chip in this. You see, I said curriculum can be defined from different angles. So in defining the curriculum, as I said, has a lot of competing definition because of different angles each of the authorities in the curriculum sees it. So per the last point that I was justifying, we can try to associate the divergent definition of the word curriculum, okay, with the blind men who went to study an elephant and describe it according to how each of them touched the various what? Parts. This is in line with the view of what? Marsh and what? Wallace, 2007. You see, get what that they said. They said that there are reasons for different meaning of curriculum because each expert may see only a small part and not the same part that others see. Experts may not see the overall changing picture and may insist that the part they see is all there is to see, all that is to see. It is linking to the point that most people who are engaged in curriculum deliberation fail to consider fully how it is essential and how multiple and dynamic nature that it has. So I am saying that the different definition that can be obtained in reference to curriculum can be linked to some blind individuals who were made to study an elephant, and in studying the elephant, they will be able to study the elephant well based on how that they are able to touch the elephant. So at the end of the day, after that they have touched the elephant, if you ask such blind individuals to define the elephant, they will define the elephant based on the touch that they had with the elephant. So at the end of the day, the person that was able to touch, let's say, the leg or the foot of the elephant, would describe the elephant based on the touch he had with the elephant. The person who touched, let's say, the horn, because that person is a blind man or the blind person, he would also define an elephant based on how that he touched it. If he happened to touch the horn, the person who touched the abdomen of the elephant would also describe the elephant based on the touch that he had. So we are linking that to the reasons why we have different meaning of the curriculum. So because of the fact that people have failed to consider fully how essential, how multiple and dynamic nature of the curriculum, at the end of the day, they might think that that small part that they know about the curriculum is the whole part. Are you okay? And there are some other people, okay, who may not see the overall changing picture and may insist that part that they see is actually the everything of the elephant. And if that be the case, definitely we would have different or differing views as to what a curriculum should be. So these are some of the reasons. So I think the reasons are two: varied views and specific values of orientation. Then most people have also failed to consider fully the essence and how multiple and dynamic nature of the curriculum. Please, I think I've made my point. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Please, we are with you.
Okay. We are with you, so no boy. Okay, so now let's look at the major components of the curriculum. Let's look at the major components of the curriculum.
Sir.
Hello?
Hello, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Sir, please, apart from these two reasons, can there be any other reason or only these two reasons?
Okay, if you think there's any other reason, you can raise it.
That's why I'm
I think
asking.
these are the main, yes, these are the main reasons. Okay. Other points that might be raised will definitely come under these two important reasons. So these are the main reasons.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my good brother. So now let's look at major components of the curriculum. Anytime that we talk about the major components of the curriculum, we are more or less talking about the constituents of what? Of the curriculum. We are talking about things that make up the curriculum. My good friend, take these things very serious, because when we come to the curriculum models, models of curriculum development. These are some of the things that we are going to put together, okay, to understand the various models of the curriculum development. So the major components of the curriculum here, we would talk about rationale of the curriculum, objectives of the curriculum. We will talk about the content of the curriculum, activities of the curriculum, profile dimension, and evaluation what techniques. So my good friend, these are some of the things that are being put together to make what we call components. So in a simple test question, we can bring some of these and add a different component that might not be part of this. And we would like to test whether you know them or you don't know them. I said the components we have: rationale, objectives, content, activities, profile dimension, evaluation what techniques. So it is the interaction of this component that constitute the curriculum. I said what? It is the interaction of these components that constitute the curriculum. So when you are being asked, what are the components that constitute the curriculum? These are the things that you have to talk about. Auntie Regina. Regina, are you there? Reynolds, Akwasi?
Sir, please, which of the Regina? Hello, sir.
Actually, I don't know the same name.
I am Regina Kweyi.
Okay, Kwayi.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What are the things? What are the things that make up the curriculum? Kwayi. Rufina. Samba Rufina.
Yes,
What
sir.
are the things that make up the curriculum?
So we have the rationale, the objectives, we have activities, contents, profile dimension, and evaluation techniques.
Okay. So now let's pick them one after the other. We are looking at the first major components of the curriculum, that is the rationale. So when we talk about rationale of a curriculum, what do you think that might be? What is rationale of the curriculum? Anata. Ata. No me Jesse. Jesse know me.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Rationale of a curriculum. What is it?
Please, I think it will be the relevance of the program of study.
Okay, relevance of the program of study.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Kobina. You want to
That's
say
it.
something? Yeah, rationale.
Yeah. So when we talk about the rationale, here we are referring to the basic reasons or the fundamental reasons of introducing a subject or carrying out a particular program.
Yes. So that is what both of you have raised. So the rationale has to do with the relevance of a program of study to the national development, or the rationale has to do with the fundamental reason for the introduction of a particular subject in the school curriculum. So the reasons why a subject has been introduced into the curriculum. So, for instance, social studies curriculum. That is what we are looking now. What is the main reason why social studies was introduced into the school curriculum? The essence of social studies education. And it is what? What is the rationale? Tell me. Reasons why social studies was introduced into the school curriculum. Yeah. What is the reason? What is the main rationale? Tell me, and I'll take you to lunch.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to inculcate patriotism in the learners. That is the reason why they introduced the curriculum, social studies curriculum.
Okay, you are not far from the truth, but you will not score my point.
Oh,
Naomi Techiwa. Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, Alfred, Ansu.
To help make learners or students or even citizens become responsible people in developing the country.
Okay, Ansu, you are close. You're very close. Yeah, Boafo.
Sir, please, to help learners understand us, our society, and also to become responsible citizens.
Okay, so the answer is for citizenship education. Okay. So the rationale for the introduction of social studies into the school curriculum rather is to promote good citizenship. So citizenship education is the prime focus of social studies. So you ask yourself, if that is the case, we have several people. We have thousands of teachers that have been trained in social studies. They are out there. They are in our society. Why is it that they are not able to demonstrate that civic efficacy? They are not able to demonstrate that good citizenship. They are not trying to be good participators in the society. Why? If the main reason why social studies was introduced into a school curriculum, and many people have had this knowledge, they are in our community, they are in our society. You see, this our nation is not developing, it's not functioning in the way that it's supposed to be. And you also realize that all these factors and problems that are hindering the development of this our nation emanate from human attitude, and they are things that social studies focuses. But still, we are not changing. Why? Is it because the social study teachers do not impact the knowledge well, or is it because people seem to be so recalcitrant, or I don't know. Why? Selena.
Sir,
Yeah.
you see, we live in a society that seems to be so porous. In a sense that, for instance, in the community where I live, a suburb of Sunyane, particularly the area where I live, I had decided I will not allow a situation where plastics will be scattered around my vicinity. So now and then I am gathering them, making sure I get rid of it. I separate my refuse. The ones that I can burn, I burn them,
Ben.
and then the ones that can use as a manure, I throw them into my garden to refurbish my garden. Now, in this area, people seem to see me as being somebody who thinks she knows all. But that isn't the issue. I want us to have a clean environment where we can live peacefully and have harmonious means of existing. But I can't have it because my core neighbors don't seem to understand the perception I'm trying to put across. And they think I am too known. So when you find yourself in this situation, the only thing you might have to do is to keep yourself somewhere, making sure you don't fall into anybody's trap. And that means I can project this idea in the larger perspective, because if I continue to do this and I'm able to influence the other people who are around me, together we will put up a clean environment, and in the whole area we will find a clean environment, and then it will help us to get ourselves avoid sicknesses and all those things. But I'm not getting it. So largely, that is what is being experienced. The whole of Ghana, when you are in a car and somebody is drinking water and keeping sachet water, as soon as he finishes drinking the water, he or she will intend throwing it outside. But when you caution that person, please don't do this, then the person will tell you, hey, Ghana, ye. Are you the president
Yes.
of Ghana? Who are you to order me about? These things. This is what the problem this is where we are having the problems. You see,
So
when you know and
you want to tell me you want to tell me that you want to tell the class that when people seem to question why you are trying to do the right thing, when the pressure is too much, you need to
Step back.
go the way. You need to go the way they also go, so that everything becomes what is supposed to be. Is that what you are
because
telling the
they
class?
don't seem to understand it. That is what is happening, sir.
Mm-hmm.
When you try to do the right thing and try to influence other people, then they ask you the question, who do you think you are to others about? Who do you think you are to do this thing right? Who do you think you are? We are all doing it this way. But you, even within us, teachers, in a particular staff, you find out you'll be going to school early, you'll be preparing your lessons, you'll be doing your lessons, you'll be doing this. And then somebody will tell you, hey, the two know people that these things put us off. So
Okay.
eventually you
Yes.
realize you have joined those
Hello,
masses.
sir. Oh.
Yes. You've made your point. Thank you very much. Covenant.
Hello, sir. Hello,
Covenant.
sir.
Let's hear you.
Hello.
Then we will move on.
Hello.
Yeah.
Just like my sister was saying, it all boils down to our social structures aligning themselves to these lessons that we learn at schools. If after learning whatever we are supposed to learn at school, and then the reinforcement does not come in, the children will definitely come out and see that whatever they have learned is different from what is outside, and therefore they will practice what they see outside. They won't practice what they have learned.
So reinforcement in what sense? You have gone to school. You have been okay. You have been in school. You've learned. People outside school did not learn with you. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
who has to enforce that? Is that not you, the
So,
teacher?
so we have state institutions. So me as a teacher would do my part, teaching the children maybe cleanliness, how to keep
Okay.
their homes or environment tidy. But when they come outside of the school, in their community, maybe I may not be in
Mm-hmm.
the same house with them. I may not be in the same environment with them. Now,
Okay.
when I have taught the child to put rubbish in the dustbin, but when he comes to
Mm-hmm.
the environment, maybe the lorry park and there's no dustbin, how does the child keep the rubbish away? So some of
Okay.
these things, these institutions should also help to support what the teachers are teaching at school.
You've made your point. Thank you very much. Labi, last
Thank
one. Then we will move on to the next component.
All right, thank you, sir. I think one contributing factor is poor role modeling. Poor role
Yeah.
modeling.
Yes.
You see, inconsistent or corrupt practices by leaders and institutions can undermine the teaching of good citizenship. You've taught
Exactly.
all right. Yes, you've taught all right. The children are looking up to people in the society. You know, in education, we say children learn by imitation. They do
Mm-hmm.
what they see adults do. And so
Mm-hmm.
they, in the community where they live, they see people, throwing rubbish around after drinking the
Mm-hmm.
pure water. The parents are throwing around. People in the vicinity or the community are all not mindful about, keeping good sanitation. Obviously, they will copy from them. They will drink the water and then they throw the rubbish around.
Yeah,
So
so this is in line with the maxim that example is better than precept. Example is better than what? Precept. You
exactly
see,
the point, sir.
yes, those of us who are teachers and some prominent people in our community, we have to use ourselves as an example so that the others that have not been in school will mimic such kind of lifestyle. So our lifestyle should be worth copying. Should be something that can be copied. You can't how do you call it? You can't teach the virtue and practice vice. As some pastors will say, do what I say, not what I do. Do what I say, but not what I do. If a teacher, if an individual in the society and you want to behave in this manner, then it will take 1,000 years for the society to develop. We have to use ourselves to set the example so that others will imitate. Even the classroom situation, those things that you want learners to go out there to copy or to do, as teachers, we can use ourselves to set example than giving instructions. If you use yourself and such example is being copied by the learner, that will become permanent on the part of that learner than maybe using some kind of instruction at the end of the day. You do not follow it for the learner to know the right example that you are talking about. Okay, so let's move on to another component of the curriculum, that is the objective. When we talk of objective as one of the components of the curriculum, what is it? Yeah, let me hear from you. Reynolds, Akwasi? Akwasi Reynolds, are you there? If you are not there, let's move on to Laurentia. Laurentia, when we talk of objective as one of the components of the curriculum, what is it? If Laurentia is not there, let's move to Linda Apia. Linda, are you there? Yeah, Boafo.
So please, they are basically the goals the curriculum seeks to achieve, the specific
Yeah,
goals. Yes,
yeah.
please.
So objectives is used in the school curriculum to refer to educational intentions or outcomes. Every education has some kind of intention or outcome. After you have gone through that kind of education, then you should be able to do certain things. So under objectives, we have what we call general objective and specific objectives. When we talk of general objectives, we are talking about some intended behavioral or measurable change which a learner is expected to exhibit after going through a course. Okay. Then the general objectives describe the overall intended behavior from the student. So the general seems to be broad. More or less, it will take a longer time before it is being realized. The general objective is not what we use to monitor our daily kind of instruction in the classroom. Get it? What we use to monitor our daily kind of instruction is what we call the specific objective, which describe the outcomes of the activities in a measurable way. So the general objective seems to be broad, but specific objective seems to be what? Specific. Are you there? Now
Yes,
let's move on to
please.
the content of the curriculum. When we talk of the content, we are talking about what is found in the syllabus. what is found in the syllabus? Yeah, hand is up. Maswa Labi. Labi, is there anything that you want to add up?
Sir, sorry, I think it was the first one I shoot my hand up. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm saying that the content, when we talk of the content, we are talking about what is normally found in the syllabus. Now we don't have syllabus. What do we have? We have a curriculum. What is found in the curriculum? So the content has to do with the selected body of knowledge that the teacher will need in teaching a particular lesson. The content in syllabus can be what? Exhaustive and inexhaustive. Do you get it? Oh.
Yes, please, sir. Sir, please.
Sir.
Yeah. Pose your question.
Sir. Yeah, please. When they say something is exhaustive or inexhaustive, please, can you please elaborate on it more for us?
Yeah. Somebody, let's hear you. Somebody, content has been exhaustive. Okay, so exhaustive.
Okay, sir. So what we talk about?
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Okay, sir. So I was saying, when you said a content is exhaustive, it means it has been dealt into details to the latter.
It covers everything.
Then everything, yes, sir. Covered everything. But when we talk about exhaustive, it means some has been left out, probably due to time or due to lack of mastery level of the content.
Okay. Okay,
right.
So let's take that it becomes exhaustive as a teacher when maybe you are able to teach all of the body of knowledge that have been put in the curriculum. Okay, then it means that you have been able to exhaust all the body of knowledge that the learners are supposed to acquire at the end of the day. And the reverse is true to that of inexhaustive. Okay, let's move on to what we call the activities. In the curriculum development, when you hear activities, what is it? Your teachers, you have been preparing what we call learning framework, what you call the lesson plan. You have been preparing that. So when you hear activities as a major component of the curriculum, what is it? Any hand up? If there is no hand up, we will say that activities are designed to ensure that the instructional period is effective. It means that the two partners in the classroom construct together. Okay, we are saying that activities or inactivity, teaching and learning activities, we want to let you know that two people or two partners normally construct the activities together. Okay, and they are the things that the students must know. The choice of these activities should contribute to the development of cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domain of the knowledge. Teaching learning activities must help learners acquire the habit of analytical thinking and the capacity of using the knowledge in everyday life. These things are not new to you. We are talking about teaching learning activities in the classroom. So the activities we are talking about, the experiences, more or less the experiences that learners are being taken through, circumstances that are being created in the classroom between the teacher and the learner, or between the learner and the teaching learning resources, so that at the end of the day, it will help the learner to achieve whatever intention or the outcome that has been stated for the lesson. That is why we said that it should be something that should be constructed by both the teacher and the learner. And normally the teacher is a guide, is a facilitator. Okay, so the teaching learning activities, it is the learner that should be at the center. Don't forget that when it comes to teaching learning activities, the learner is the most important element that we are looking at. What the teacher is able to do in the classroom situation is not that beneficial, but what the learner is able to do, that is what you should have at the back of your mind. That is why Farrant 1985 has said that a lesson taught is a lesson learned. A lesson taught is a lesson learned. So if you are a teacher, if you teach and students have not learned it, or when you teach and students do not learn, it's equivalent to the fact that you have not taught. So you only teach when learners learn. When you teach and learners do not learn, you have not taught. That is according to Farrant, and is equivalent to teaching learning activities here. So what the learners are able to do in the classroom situation is very paramount, is very important. So it is being designed in the classroom situation to make instruction more effective. If you don't able to construct important and a worthwhile kind of teaching learning activities, at the end of the day, the learners wouldn't able to understand, they will not able to follow. You can't carry the learners along to whatever that you are presenting in the class. Please, are you there?
Yes.
Sir. Hello, sir.
Okay, let's move on to the next
Sir.
major component of the curriculum, and that is the profile dimension. Profile dimension in social studies class or in the curriculum development. When we talk of profile dimension, we are talking about
please, it seems
some
your hand is up.
underlying behaviors for teaching, learning, and what? Assessment.
Hello, sir.
Underlying behaviors for teaching, learning, and what? And assessment. Okay, so what do you think are some of the behaviors? What do you think are some behaviors? What are the main reasons why we teach, why students learn, and why we assess? That is what we call profile dimension. So those that were in the system, those who were in the system, the old system, before the new curriculum, when you pick the syllabus, okay, at the back of it, was it at the back? I think so. At the back of it, you see what we call profile dimension. And under the profile dimension, you see knowledge and understanding. Okay, you see knowledge and understanding. Some percentage, okay, some percentage will be allotted to that. Then we have the application of knowledge. That one too, you allot some kind of percentage in terms of marks under that one. At the end of the day, when you put them together, it should sum up to 100. So in the classroom situation, you ask yourself, what are some behaviors that do underline teaching, learning, and that of what? Assessment. So it does involve the acquisition of two abilities. When you pick profile dimension in curriculum development, it dwells on two important abilities. One, knowledge and understanding, then the application of what? Knowledge. So we want to say that, why do we teach? We teach to promote knowledge and understanding, and also the use of the knowledge in the classroom. Why do you teach? You teach that students will obtain knowledge, isn't it? You teach that at the end of the day, students will be able to depict a behavior that is understanding. And also at the end of the day, we also teach and students learn, or we also assess, so that we will find out whether students can make use of the knowledge that they have obtained, or whether they can put the knowledge that they have obtained into practice. Please, are you getting it?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Entimo.
Sir, please, we are there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah,
Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, we did.
Yeah, okay. My handset and number back one say Mokasa maintaining on function. Okay, so now we are saying that when we talk of profile dimension, it talks about teaching and learning. Okay, it says that teaching and learning is to get the student not only to acquire knowledge, but also understand what they learn and also make use or put into practice in specific situations. So in a school or in a school, the behaviors that do underline teaching, learning, and assessment, I am saying that they are two important abilities. One is knowledge and understanding, and the other one is application of what? Knowledge. The knowledge and understanding here means is that when you teach, when students learn, when we do assess, we do all these things to check and to find out whether students have acquired some body of knowledge and understand whatever that we assess or we teach or we they learn. Apart from that, we also check whether they can make use of the knowledge that they have acquired. They can put that kind of knowledge into a practical sense. They can put the knowledge to use. It means that in the classroom situation, acquisition of knowledge is not enough. We have to check the understanding and also how the students will be able to put into use, how they are going to be practical in some specific situation. You see, we are unable to achieve what we want to achieve as a nation, as social studies practitioners, or for the fact that we do what we call learning by memorization, chew, pass, and forget. You see, the Babadie is killing us. Learning by memorization. When we teach, we are unable to associate whatever that we teach in a everyday life, in the practical sense, where the learners, in the absence of the teacher, would be able to demonstrate whatever that they have learned. So we were also talking about the abilities, which I said one. We have the knowledge and understanding, then application of what? Knowledge. Under the application of knowledge, we are talking about one, the application, the analysis, innovation or creativity, then that of what? Evaluation. Evaluation. In your free time, okay, read on application, analysis, innovation, and evaluation. Now let's look at the evaluation as the last component of the curriculum. Evaluation technique. When you talk of evaluation in a curriculum sense, what is it? What is evaluation? Yes, let me start mentioning your name so that you would respond. Else, you don't mind me. Yeah, Misak. When we talk of evaluation in curriculum, what is it? Misak upon? Yeah, Frempong.
So when we talk about evaluation technique, we are talking about the assessment, the way of assessing students on what they have been taught, just to see if they have grasped what they have learned.
Okay, thank you very much. Sandra Santoa. Sandra.
Hey,
Yeah.
so please, when you talk about the evaluation, it's the systematic process of collecting and analyzing data to judge an educational program through assessments.
Okay. Kudo. on. Yeah.
It means assessing or judging the value or quality of something.
Okay. Judging the quality of teaching, or maybe even the curriculum itself. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Grace.
Okay.
Auntie Grace. They do.
Sir, they have said it all.
They have said it all. Add something. Say something.
Sir, assessment as evaluation is when you give a test item to the learner to find out if what you have taught the learner, he or she understands it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Pabasi, amo ata. Amo ata. Pabasi, we na me do know. Let's go. Say something.
Okay, I should go.
Aruna Fuseni. Okay, so evaluation, we are talking about systematic determination of subject merit, wealth, and significance using a criteria governed by a set of what standards. So when we say evaluation, we are trying to use a systematic determination of subject merit, wealth, and significance using a criteria governed by a set of what standards. So for instance, okay, we have taken our students through a social studies curriculum. And at the end of the day, we try to use maybe a test, a class test, assignment, or class exercise in order to find out the merit of the body of knowledge that the students have been taught. Okay, the wealth of whatever that we have taught the students, the significance of what the body of knowledge that we have taken them through. Are you okay? So here we don't make use of class tests, assignment just like that. But assignment and class tests that meet certain standards. So if at the end of the day we are able to use such kind of assessment of set kind of standards, and students are able to show a performance that is good, satisfactory, very good, and excellent, then it means that whatever that they have been taught has been what? Has been understood. And for that matter, the body of knowledge that we have taken them through as teachers, okay, we can now say that what has been put in the curriculum is really what we have impacted in the learner. If at the end of the day performance is not anything to talk about, then it means that we didn't project, we didn't provide, we didn't give the knowledge the way that we are supposed to provide them. So the merit, the wealth, and the significance of that body of knowledge will not be there. So evaluation, in a simple sense, we are looking at what we call value judgment. Value what? Judgment. We would want to find out how significant that a body of knowledge that we are supposed to impact has been. That's why I said, if at the end of the day, after taking the learners through the various forms of assessment, students are unable to demonstrate that a particular kind of knowledge has been impacted in them, it means that the merit, the wealth of that body of knowledge has not been demonstrated. Then, as a teacher, you need to maybe revise or review the way and manner in which you impact your knowledge, or your method of instruction has to be revised. So it's a value judgment. You want to judge the quality of teaching or a body of knowledge. And normally, pay attention. In a simple test question, you will see this in an objective test. Evaluation is normally determined by what profile dimension. Evaluation is mostly determined by what? The profile dimension. Why? Why is it that it is the profile dimension that would determine evaluation? Why?
Hello, sir.
Sir,
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
And I would say it involves an application of knowledge and understanding.
Yes.
Thank you.
So you want to say that evaluation will be based on the body of knowledge and understanding and how the knowledge can be put into practice. If you want to evaluate, you base on these things to check whether really the merit of the knowledge that you want to impact, the wealth, the significance has been realized or has not been realized. That's why we are saying that it is profile dimension that determine what? Evaluation. The reason is that the assessor bases his or her evaluation on profile dimension of the subject. These are stipulated in the syllabus, and the teacher could therefore refer them before writing the test items. So the teacher would even determine that out of the 10 questions that I want to set, okay, let me use 5 of the questions to test the knowledge aspect of what? Of the learner or the profile dimension. Let me use maybe 3 out of the last 5 to check how students do understand. And let me use the last 2 questions to determine how that they can put the knowledge that they have learned into practice. So when you are setting questions as a teacher, you have to be guided by the profile dimensions that are normally stated at the syllabus, so that you don't state all the questions, okay, to dwell more on maybe one particular aspect of the profile dimension and others are being left out. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So here we want to say that the teacher must develop a test that consists of items or questions that are based on a representative sample of the specific objective taught during the what? The term of what? The term or the year. So what it means is that the objectives evaluation, we are talking about evaluation. If you want to evaluate and evaluate well, make sure that the questions that you would use, your assessment instrument or your evaluation instrument should cover all the objectives that have guided your instruction throughout the term or the year. That is why sometimes some teachers will have what we call a test specification table. A test what? Specification what? Table. So the test specification table is a form of table that would specify the topics that they have taught, and that each topic, the objective that guided the topics. Are you okay? The objective that guided them, so that at the end of the day, when they are setting the questions, they will not forget the topics and objective that they have used to guide their lesson, so that the questions will dwell on these topics and objectives. If care is not taken, you will finish your questions and you will find out that there are some topics and some objectives that have not been covered. You have set your question to cover maybe 2 topics that you've taught. Meanwhile, you taught about 5 or 6 topics in the term or in the year, but the questions that you have set covers only the questions that you have set cover only 2 topics. That is why they are saying here that the teacher must develop a test that consists of items or questions that are based on representative sample of the specific objective taught during the term of the year. Though you might not able to set more questions to cover maybe this is what I mean. You cannot set more questions. Yes, you can set more questions on all the objectives, but you should have a sample, okay, a representative sample of the specific objective taught during the term or the year. So if sales objective have been covered, then if you have sales questions, at least one of the questions should dwell on each of the objectives, so that none of them will be left out. In doing so, the teacher needs to be mindful of the weight of each profile dimension. Profile dimension. You see, it is very interesting. It will guide you to know that the number of questions that I'm going to set, how many of them should check on the students' understanding or the knowledge that they have acquired. Which of them should be used to check on how that they are able to put the knowledge into a good use, and others. Okay, my good friends, let's move on. Now, let's look at the major determinants of the curriculum. Major determinants of what? Of the curriculum. Major determinants of the curriculum. When we talk of the determinants of the curriculum, what are we talking about here? Let me hear from you. The major determinants of the curriculum, what are we talking about here? Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
When we talk about determinant, hello?
Yeah, you didn't put up your hand. That's why I. Okay, Emmanuel, move on. Emmanuel, move on. Emma, talk. Emma, talk. Okay, Joshua. Joshua, when we talk of determinants of the curriculum, what is it? What are we talking about? Why are you not talking? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, why are you not talking? Okay, determinants.
Sorry, sir.
Okay, so our focus is on the variables that determine the school curriculum. So here we are looking at the deciders, the factors that decide the development of a given curriculum. Variables. What are the things that have to be considered? What are the things that have to be considered when developing or designing a curriculum? What are the factors that have to be put into consideration? More.
Sir, please, the government the determinant, the government.
When after? Okay, so put up your hand there so that we will know who will be talking at any point in time. So one,
Sir, the government.
Okay. So government is one, eh? Okay, you have made your point. Mute yourself. Next person.
Okay.
Next person. Abaji Da Costa. Abaji. Factors that determine curriculum development or designing, and you are not talking. Okay, Faustina. Fausti.
Hey, please, I think the culture of the people too must be considered.
Yeah, culture is there. Thank you very much. Amankona Emmanuel.
Yes, sir. So, sir, the learners, they are also factor, and
Okay.
and
Learners
the
are there. You've
society
made
too.
your point. Yeah. Yeah. Next person. Faustina Fosu. Or you've said something. Oh, Grace.
So I think they must consider the age in which they are preparing the curriculum for. For example, if the child is below the lower primary, you can teach or design a curriculum for use GHS method for the primary. So I think their
Yeah, Victor.
age difference should also be considered.
Yeah, you've made your point. Victor Odum.
We need to consider the school environment.
Yeah, school environment. Victor, you made your point. Yeah, next person. Okay.
Hello,
So
sir.
these are the who put up your hand. Labi.
Yes, I think the needs
Labi.
and aspiration of the community is also considered.
Yes, society has been mentioned. Yeah, Reynolds. Reynolds. Okay. So these are the major determinants. We have the society slash culture. Society slash culture. Then we have philosophy. Then knowledge, psychology is there, and finance. These are the main determinants that we are going to talk about. I beg, when it is exam and you're being asked to talk about the major determinants, look at these 5 major ones. When you are able to exhaust these points, it is there that you can go to others that you want to adapt. But until you exhaust these areas, don't talk about any other factor, because those factors are minor ones. So mostly, this can be one of your essay questions. It can be one of the essay questions that you'll be asked to talk about. You'll be asked to discuss maybe 5 major determinants of curriculum development or curriculum designing. Please, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
I've been
sir.
with students. And I know what you could do. Sometimes we will teach, give you the various experiences, various issues that you should talk about them, or you should talk about. When it is exams, you write different things, as if you have not been taught. I think for this course, if you are able to be a bit hardworking, you can get an A. Okay. Because I don't see anything strange or difficult about this our course. So you should able to be hardworking, be serious, and get an A if not any other course. For this one, you have to. Okay, so now let's pick the first determinant rather, and look at how set would influence the curriculum designing or curriculum development. Society or culture. You see, the nature of a society or its culture determines the type of curriculum that could be functional in achievement of its educational objectives. In other words, the types of curriculum in a given society is related to the needs of that society. The curriculum should therefore reflect the societal needs or the social needs of the community and transmit the values and ideals that the society upholds. More.
Wow.
Okay, so what are we saying? What are we saying here? This is what we are saying. We want to say that a curriculum to be developed depends to a large extent on its society where it will be used. So Tyler, 1949, identified the society as having a major role as a source of curriculum and influence. Bishop, 1985, support this view when he says that curriculum does not develop in a vacuum, but values, tradition, beliefs of society contribute a significant role in its formulation. Be informed that the sort of society a nation desires will determine the curriculum that will help to achieve that desired society. The needs, aspirations, and problems of the society will go a long way to fashion out the types of curriculum that the society should have that would meet the societal needs, aspirations, as well as to address its problems. For instance, Ghana wants to build a democratic society. Then the programs offered should concentrate on democratic issues. I think we have said a lot here. What do we mean here? We want to say that if we want to design or develop any curriculum, the society and the culture of the society should not be left out. What we mean here is that a curriculum is not being developed in the vacuum. You see, for every society, we have the needs of the people, we have the problems that they face, we have some aspirations, we have the traditions which can be linked to the culture. At the end of the day, whatever curriculum that we are developing should be connected and should be related to the needs, the aspirations, the traditions, and the needs of the people. Why? This is because we want the needs of the society to be met. We want the problems of the society to be solved. We want the culture of the society to be known. We want the culture of the society to what? To progress from one stage to another, because if of a group, then the society will continue to be graduating, progressing. We don't mean that we are going to change the way of life of people, but people should progress in their culture. Culture should graduate, because when they do graduate, we will see some kind of element of technology in it, thereby it will bring some kind of development in the society. So what we mean here is that if at the end of the day we are designing the curriculum or we are developing the curriculum and we don't reflect on the needs, on the problems, on the traditions and the culture of the society, then it means that curriculum will never help the community or the society to progress. So, for instance, if it is the need of the community or the society to build what we call a democratic lifestyle, then in developing the curriculum, that need or that focus of society should be factored in the curriculum so that the learners will get to know the various elements of democracy, the various types of democracy, the skills, the attitudes and values that will lead them to be democratic. So that when they get to the real world of the community or the society, they will be able to use the knowledge that they have acquired in the democracy in the society to promote whatever change that they want to promote. This is the reason why we are saying that society / culture is a very important determinant or decider of a curriculum designing or development. Are you okay with this?
Yes, sir.
Oh, they will not mind me.
No,
Yes,
sir, we are
please.
with you. We are with you. Enjoying the lectures.
Okay, so we are done with the first decider or determinant. Let's move on to the second determinant, which is what? Philosophy of education. Philosophy of education. When we talk of philosophy of education, what is it? And how does it serve as a factor that would influence a curriculum designing or curriculum development? In curriculum studies and development, it is necessary to understand philosophical underpinnings of education in the country. That is, every country has its own philosophy of education. The philosophy deals with aims of education, the values that are to be transmitted to learners, the reflection of ideals and aspirations of the people, and the types of product that would emerge out of the educational system. The philosophical determinants aim at the what? All-round development of the individual. The nature of the curriculum enhances the achievement of the desired goals embodied in what? In the country's what? Philosophy of education. In Ghana, the basic curriculum is designed to cater for the development of nationalism, dignity of labor, development of scientific attitude, and inculcation of sound moral values. Okay. We still want to say that we still want to say that philosophy as a curriculum source and influence cannot be what disputed. Okay, when we say that at the heart of a purposeful activity of curriculum is educational philosophy that assists in answering value-taking questions and making decisions from among many choices. It is thus the intention or the rationale that underpins the educational setup of the country that should be what should be considered. If the rationale of education in Ghana is that every student should become a computer literate or a vocational oriented, the curriculum should be designed to make provision for that intention. The educational philosophy such as perennialism, idealism, realism, experimentalism, essentialism throw more light on the types of curriculum to be developed. They will be taken up in the subsequent what? Lessons. So maybe in some of our lectures, we'll be looking at the various philosophies of education. And I've given various examples. If you don't know them, you have what we call perennialism, idealism, realism, experimentalism, essentialism, and others. What do we mean by this philosophy of education, and how does it influence curriculum development, as we have talked about? I still have to elaborate more so that you'll be able to understand better. We want to say that there is some kind of rationale behind every educational system of a particular country. So, for instance, the Ghana educational system has a rationale. So, if you do recall, I mentioned that at the basic level for the Ghanaian educational system, okay, I said in Ghana, the basic curriculum is designed, yes, basic curriculum is designed to cater for development of nationalism, dignity of labor, development of scientific attitude, and inculcation of sound moral values. So this rationale of the basic curriculum, okay, did not come out of blue, did not come out of chance. It came because of what? Because of the rationale behind the educational system. So get the educational system and the curriculum, they are two different things. So if the rationale behind a particular kind of educational system is not in line with the curriculum that is being developed or being designed, at the end of the day, the country will suffer. So what we mean here is that the rationale behind the educational system of a particular country should be linked up, should be followed by that of the curriculum. If you want to develop a curriculum, if you want to design a curriculum, we should look at the rationale behind the educational system. So if the rationale behind the educational system has to do with the provision of computer literate and vocational oriented individuals, then the curriculum should be designed and developed in that angle or in that line. So we want to say that we have philosophical underpinnings of every education in the country. The philosophical underpinnings here means that the rationale behind education of the country. So the philosophy is not anything new. We are talking about some kind of values, some kind of knowledge, some kind of reasons behind the education of a particular country. So that is what I have explained, that if the rationale, if the reason, if the values behind the educational system of the country has to do with maybe provision of ICT literate kind of individuals in designing and developing a new curriculum, such should be factored in the curriculum, so that at the end of the day, the curriculum will not deviate from the fact that the learners that go through it would have that kind of ICT oriented kind of skills, so that when they get to the larger community, they will be able to use that skills to promote the philosophy of what? Of education. I think I've said something.
Yes, sir.
Let's move on to the next determinant, which is knowledge. Knowledge or knowledge. When we talk of knowledge, what is it? So we will say that this determinant concerns what should be taught and how that should be transmitted to what? To learners. What should be taught has to do with the knowledge, isn't it? And how should it be transmitted? So when you hear how, it talks about the method. The knowledge is about the content. What is being delivered to the learner and how it's being delivered. So the body of knowledge that is being impacted in the learner and how that should be impacted, how it will be transmitted. So we have a lot of theories of knowledge that have been propounded. We have various kind of theories that specify the kind of knowledge that learners could be provided. So these kind of theories deal with the source of knowledge. So now, let's look at these theories of what? Knowledge. We have a pragmatic theory. And that theory holds the view that we can know only what we experience and therefore emphasizes on practical work. Are you getting it? We can know only what we experience and the emphasis on what? Practical work. When you have not gained an experience on something, can you know that? You can know something well when you have experienced that. That is why we talk about the fact that in school, we have to create several kind of circumstances, situations, alternatives, so that learners will gain enough experiences in order to understand whatever that you teach. And this type of theory, known as a pragmatic theory, throw more light on what? Practical work. Then the next theory is a coherence theory. We have another theory that is correspondent to what? Theory. They all have something to say about knowledge that has to be taught. Then we have some other sources of knowledge which can also be factored when it comes to curriculum development. We have a revealed knowledge, knowledge that will be revealed. We have empirical knowledge, knowledge that is based on some kind of maybe research. Are you okay? And at the end of the day, we are being provided with some kind of findings that could be used to make decisions, empirical knowledge. Then we have rational knowledge. We have intuitive. The intuitive seems to be that kind of knowledge, intuitive. Then we have authoritative what? Knowledge that might come from some credible sources or some individuals that possess some bodies of knowledge. Are you okay? On, let's say, they have put their knowledge into writing. People may read that kind of writings and obtain some kind of knowledge. And we are saying that all these kind of knowledge can be put into a given curriculum. There are some examples or sources where we can obtain knowledge and write or design or develop a new curriculum. So you see, knowledge is also very important. Whatever that we want the learner to become depends upon the knowledge that we give. If we want to solve the societal problem, it will depend upon the knowledge that we will give. So sometimes you question us at this level. You question us, why is it that most occasions the kind of knowledge that we give in school, when you go to the real world situation, you don't even teach those things. You don't even make use of such kind of knowledge. So what is the essence of learning those things in schools? Obi Krabi to me because I said, then what is the essence of that pa r square? Then what is the essence of learning this power out square in school? Because in the real world situation, you don't seem to make use of those. If you don't make use of them, there are some other individuals that make use of them. My good friends, are you there?
Yes, please.
Yes, please, doctor.
So knowledge is another factor that influences curriculum development. According to somebody, or according to some proponent known as Turner and Turner, 1974, they said that the nature or the sort of knowledge of the learner in various subject areas is to help meet the needs, aspirations, as well as to help solve the problems of the society. Knowledge plays a major role in determining the types of curriculum matter, concept, and mental processes that must be what acquired in each subject area. In other words, the types of knowledge that is worthwhile in social studies, history, economics, and science, among others, inform the curriculum to be what? To be designed. So one day, you will become a curriculum expert. I am a social studies practitioner. Okay, I have expertise in curriculum because I am also a student too. I'm about to finish my PhD. Okay, and my specialization is curriculum. That's why I have been teaching this course. I'm a social studies practitioner. My first degree is in social studies. My MPhil is in social studies. My PhD is in social studies, but I have specialized in curriculum. So I could say that I would become a specialist one day, or I am a specialist in curriculum. One day, you would also become a specialist in curriculum, and you'll be charged to help in writing what a curriculum for a group. So in such instance, the kind of knowledge that you want to promote is the kind of knowledge that you will infuse in the curriculum. The concept that you want to promote are those concepts that you will infuse or you will fuse in the curriculum. If at the end of the day, the kind of concept, knowledge, and the content that you want to promote is not what has been put in the curriculum, then how do you seem to promote those things? So what are some kind of knowledge do we gain in social studies? The knowledge that we want to gain in social studies are those kind of knowledge that is being put in the social studies curriculum. So whenever that we seem to develop and design a curriculum, the kind of knowledge that we put in the curriculum are those things that we want to promote, those knowledge that we want to promote at the end of the day. So that has to be factored, that has to be considered. So knowledge is acquired through experience. It's acquired through learning. It's acquired through information. It's acquired through education. Are you okay? And even solution and analysis. Through all these things, we are able to obtain knowledge. Knowledge is power. And it is through knowledge that we can also develop a curriculum as practitioners. Please, can we continue?
Yes, please.
Now, let's look at what we call psychology. Somebody would ask, say, what is the essence of psychology in curriculum development? Or how can psychology determine or serve as a decider of curriculum development. So we want to say that curriculum designers and developers consider the various theories of human development, learning theories, methods of teaching, and others. So as of now, when you are being asked to define psychology, you would say that it's about science, the science of what? Learning. Science of what? Learning. That is what you will tell me. It's about science of what? Learning. So what we want to say is that psychology determines curriculum development in the sense that those that design and develop curriculum consider various theories of human development, theories of learning, the methods of teaching, and others. If you do recall, when I asked you to talk about the various components of various determinants of curriculum development, some of you mentioned the fact that the age, the developmental level, and others of the learner have to be considered. They are under this heading that we are talking about. So we have what we call human development theory. People that design and develop curriculum have to be well-versed in the theories of human development because of the fact that there is individual differences. Two individuals that have been born on the same day might not develop at the same time or might not develop the same. Individuals differ in terms of the physical outlook, in terms of temperament, in terms of abilities, and others. We have some theories of learning. When we start looking at methods of teaching social studies, which I think I am going to handle that same course with you, okay, you would understand or you know more of this learning what theories. Then we also have methods of teaching, among others. All these things are being considered by the curriculum developers and designers before that they are able to come out with a worthwhile kind of curriculum, or a curriculum that has what? A respected curriculum, a respected what? Page. Let me put it that way. If they want to develop a respected curriculum page, then all these things have to be considered. You see, the theories of human development, the learning theories, and methods of teaching and others enable the curriculum developers determine the suitable curriculum that meet the cognitive needs of learners at each level of education. So in developing the curriculum, the kind of knowledge that we put in over there should meet and suit the level of the learner. When you put a body of knowledge that is beyond the comprehension of the learner, at the end of the day, the learner will not able to understand whatever that you would expose him to. The learner will not able to grab whatever concept that you would want to teach. So what we are saying is that you would have to consider those sources that I have talked about. Yeah, hello. Hello.
Listen. Hello, listen.
Yeah. So we are trying to say that Psychological determinants of the curriculum covers the knowledge of the nature of the learner and the learning processes and the conditions that facilitate optimum learning. So we want to say that the psychological aspect of the curriculum would help the developers or the designers to consider the knowledge of growth and the intelligence and the developmental capacity of the learners. It will help them to know the nature of the learners, their learning processes, and the various conditions that promote optimum learning. It will let us know the knowledge growth, the intelligence, and the developmental capacity of the learners. For instance, in the first 4 years of basic education, the curriculum should be child-centered, and learning experiences should be provided in accordance with the mental development and the interest of the learner. This means that the teacher cannot ask a class 1 people to solve a problem meant for a class 4 peoples rather. So what we mean is that psychology is also very important because it guides the developers to know more or to consider the theories of human development, the learning theories, and methods of teaching and others. These things are very important because it helps the curriculum to meet the cognitive needs of the learner at each level of education. I have also mentioned the psychological determinant will guide the developers to know the nature of the learner, the learning processes, and the conditions that facilitate optimum learning. And also, guide them to know the growth and the intelligence and the developmental capacity of the learner, so that at the end of the day, the learner will not be exposed to content and concepts that are too difficult, okay, than his age or his level of development. That is why a class 1 people will not expose to certain content that class 4 people are supposed to. I think you are convinced on this one. Let's move on to the last aspect, which is finance. Finance. So in what way do you think that finance also contributes to the determinants of the curriculum? Let me hear from you. Finance. Muye din ho sa na mo pe kwan ada. Yeah. Kusi yebua. Kusi. Kusi yebua. Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Hello.
Reynolds.
Hello.
Yeah, Kwasi. Let me hear from you.
Hello. Hello, sir.
Yeah, talk.
I think when you talk of finance, that is when the curriculum developers they don't get enough funds to, let's say, come out with the curriculum. That's all. For instance, like Ghana, when teachers to maybe they to organize even a workshop for teachers, and they don't have enough funds. I think to also hinder the development of the curriculum. Yes.
Okay. That is not enough. That is not enough.
Okay.
Hamidu. Hamidu.
Sir, please come
Nana.
here.
Yeah,
Hello, sir.
Nanata.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Even the money to pay for the curriculum developers also becomes a problem. Yeah, the money needed to
Put
hire
up your
the
hand.
curriculum
Put up your
experts.
hand.
Yeah,
Okay.
becomes a problem.
Pakwasi, are you the one talking?
No, this is another talking.
Nanata, okay.
Yeah, I was saying that even the money to even hire the curriculum developers also is also a problem.
Yeah, I know, and we have heard you, my good friend. Yeah. Okay, so we want to say that finance determines human and material resources. Finance determines human and material resources. Therefore, decision about curriculum should be affected by financial constraints. Insufficient finance affect decisions on the curriculum development. That is, if there is unavailability of resources, the planning of curriculum will not succeed. Bishop 85 affirmed that lack of money can be a complete barrier to educational progress as lack of ideas or initiative. Mostly in developing countries such as Ghana, implementation of curricular initiatives are normally stalled because financial priorities on education are minimal. At the regional conference on educational convened by UNESCO for African member states in Nairobi in 1968, it was noted vividly that lack of finance was a major constraint to the expansion and improvement in education. That is Bishop 85. Take note of that statement. Who said that? At the regional conference on education convened by UNESCO for African member states in Nairobi in 1968, it was noted vividly that lack of finance was a major constraint to the expansion and improvement in education. That was said by Bishop 1985. What do we mean by all these things that we have talked about? We want to say that it is the finance that will determine the human resources and material resources that are available. When we talk of the human resources, we are talking about men with the right kind of or credible kind of intellect that have the abilities, the specialists, people with the necessary expertise that would able to come out with proper kind of knowledge so as to develop or design a curriculum. Okay. Then the material resources, we are talking about the physical structures that will be used at the end of the day. Okay. So if we would able to have these human and material resources, it is a financial standing of the country that will determine that. So if you have studied our educational system for some time now, you would realize that curriculum change or curriculum revision doesn't occur because it involves a huge sum of money. Okay, the previous government that started with the new curriculum was not able to provide even the resources, or for the fact that it needs huge sum of money. So definitely, insufficient financial standing would affect decisions of curriculum development. So a situation whereby we don't have enough resources, then designing and developing of a curriculum will not succeed. We still want to re-echo that lack of money can be a complete barrier to educational progress, as it would definitely lead to lack of ideas or initiative. A nation or a country might have a correct and a sound kind of ideas that can be implemented in the education system to bring some kind of progress. But without a good financial standing, that cannot happen. Okay. It is as a result of this that Bishop said that at a UNESCO conference in Nairobi, 1968, that lack of finance was a major constraint to expansion and improvement in education. So we want to say that without the good financial standing, it would be very difficult for a worthwhile kind of curriculum. Okay, so it is now 2:31. 2:31. I think we have an hour to go. Okay, you have 10 minutes. I've given you 10 minutes to take water. 10 minutes to take in water. And we will continue after that. So when it is 2:40, we would continue. I have saved and kept record. Let me make you aware. I have saved and kept the record of the students that joined this session, and it will be used against you in the final analysis. So as I've said, you have 10 minutes for break. Make sure you report when that 10 minutes is over. So I am waiting for you. Take in water, and we will continue from where that we have gotten to. Thank you. Oh, hello. I think our time is up. Let's continue from where we stopped. Hello.
Hi.
Okay. So now we are looking at patterns of curriculum development. Patterns of curriculum development. Okay, on the factors that influence curriculum development that we looked at, you can add
Hello.
other factors here. Hello. Madam, any question? Any question? Hello. Sarah.
So
Yeah. Your network is your network
Please,
is
I
not
was
stable.
responding to you.
Okay. You see, I was saying that apart from the five main major determinants that we talked about, we can also add other two factors, which are one, the learner as a factor and the teacher as a factor. So the learner can also determines or influences a curriculum development or curriculum designing. Likewise, the teacher can also do that. Have you gotten that? Hello?
Hi.
When I talk and you don't respond, I might think that you didn't hear. So when I talk, you have to respond. I am saying that apart from the factors that we talked about as determinants of the curriculum, there are some other factors such as the learner and the teacher. Yeah. So in which way, in which way do you think that the learner or the teacher can also determine the curriculum development? Yeah. The learner or the teacher. Yeah, I mean, Hamidu.
Okay, so I think the teacher is also a major defender of the curriculum because if after the recommendation, the implementation and everything, and if the teacher does not have the knowledge of the curriculum, I think it wouldn't be able to, it will not help to carry out the expected activities effectively. So that's how I also understand it.
Yeah, you are not far from the truth. You are right. Yeah, still on the teacher. Okay, it is a common knowledge. You are aware that it is a common knowledge that whether a curriculum would achieve its intended purpose or not depends to a large extent on the teacher specialist. A curriculum expert who is making Asari, please mute yourself. You are disturbing us. I am saying that a curriculum expert may select the objective, okay, and plan in advance, but it is the teacher who is the attacking troop on the field to make things happen, according to Bishop. Actually, you cannot proceed with the curriculum design without the full cooperation of teachers, for they know the local situation and dynamics in the school environment. Be informed that positively, the curriculum is enriched by the creativity and imagination of the best teachers, and negatively, it is affected by the limitations of the poor teachers and poor teacher training institutions. So, how the curriculum will be implemented at the end of the day dwells on the teacher. So, if the teacher does not possess the right kind of knowledge on how to implement the curriculum might not see the light of the day. So, before that, we design and develop a given curriculum, the cooperation of the teacher is very important, because it is the teacher that is well based in the local situation and the local environment of the learner. Very short time, you'll be looking at the curriculum model by somebody known as Hilda Taba. According to Hilda Taba, she was of the view that the teacher should not only become an implementer of the curriculum, but should be given that right also to design and develop the curriculum. The reason being that the teacher is with the learner. He is well versed into the local situation, the environment in which the learner finds himself. The teacher knows more about the interests and the needs of the learner. So if the teacher is given the opportunity to design and implement the curriculum, then we would be able to have a curriculum that the learner would not find difficult to adjust to it. Okay. Likewise, we are saying that the teacher should be given enough role in the curriculum development and designing, because he is aware of the local or the grassroots environment where the learner would function well if the curriculum has to be implemented. So most occasion, in the case of Ghana, teachers are involved at the national level, at the regional level, and at the local level. I have gone through a lot of the training in reference to curriculum development, all for the fact that I was a lead in the new curriculum. I had that opportunity to train some other teachers who could also function well and also implement the curriculum. We were involved because they wanted us to have our views as how it should be done and how it should be implemented at the end of the day. So if you want the curriculum to be implemented well in a faithful manner or in an enacted manner, the role of the teacher in the curriculum design and development should also be factored. So where teachers do not have the knowledge to implement the curriculum in the way that is supposed to be, trainings are organized so that they can function well in the implementation. So if that is not done, then it means that that curriculum will fail to be implemented in a way that is supposed to be, because teachers might not have the right kind of intellect to implement it. Likewise, the learner also influences curriculum development. Okay. This is because knowledge about the nature of the learner and the learning process, as well as the conditions that facilitate optimal learning, constitute an essential factor before taking a worthwhile curriculum decision. For instance, what to teach at a given level cannot be answered without relevant knowledge about the child's development. It must be pointed out that the worthwhile time to teach any particular subject, the order in which is to be organized, and the teaching and learning strategies to be adopted for teaching cannot be decided without making reference to the thought processes at the various age levels. In other words, the way the learning processes is explained, the processes of human development and transfer of learning have a unique contribution to the curriculum. So the knowledge of the learner is very important. We have to know the developmental level of the learner so that we will know what the learner can bite at any point in time. We have to know the age level of the learner, their interests, and all these things have to be considered before we design and develop a new curriculum. Okay, and even sometimes you have to sequence the body of knowledge that we have put in the curriculum. Okay, would also do well by the consideration of what the learner in question. Because if you don't know much about the learner and you sequence the content in such a way that maybe more have to be consumed at a given point in time, and the learner does not have that kind of strength, then the implementation will also be a bit difficult. Thank you very much. Now let's look at patterns of the curriculum. Patterns of what? Curriculum development. So under the patterns of the curriculum development, we are going to talk about what we call core curriculum. Core curriculum. We are going to talk about the subject curriculum, activity or negotiated curriculum, and integrated what? Curriculum. Are you okay? We are looking at the patterns of curriculum development. And I'm saying that under this, we are going to look at the core curriculum. When we say core curriculum, what is it? Subject curriculum, activity or negotiated curriculum, and integrated curriculum. So my question is, when we say patterns of the curriculum, patterns of curriculum, what is it? If after this lecture, somebody asks, what did you learn today? And you mentioned that we learned about patterns of curriculum. And you start by giving the various patterns, by talking about the core curriculum, talking about the subject curriculum, and others that I've mentioned. And that person asks, what is the meaning of patterns of curriculum? What are you going to tell the person? So the patterns of the curriculum, what is it? Okay. So when we talk of the patterns of the curriculum, okay, we are talking about the way and manner in which an educational content is structured and organized. So here, if we want to talk about how the curriculum is being structured, or if we are to base on the structure of the curriculum or organization of the curriculum, then we would have the various patterns that we have talked about. I am saying that when we talk the patterns of the curriculum, it refers to the way educational content is structured and organized. It is about how subjects and topics are arranged to create a cohesive learning experience for students. So if we are to base on how the curriculum is structured and organized, okay, and call that one patterns of the curriculum, then based on how we structure a given curriculum and how we organize a particular kind of curriculum, we would have the various types of curriculum that I've mentioned. So sometimes they will not ask you what are the types of a curriculum, they will ask you what are the patterns of the curriculum. And the patterns of the curriculum, we are looking at how the curriculum is being structured and how it is being organized. The essence of it is to create what we call a cohesive learning experience for what? For students. So within a given curriculum, okay, based on the content that has to be projected or that has to be learned by the students, the content is not being structured anyhow. Okay, so in social studies curriculum, we have what we call a spiral approach to the curriculum development. Then we have the concentric approach to the curriculum development. In how a given curriculum is being structured, or how social studies curriculum is being structured, we do that by considering two important approaches. We have one, the concentric approach, and the spiral approach. You hear about this spiral approach and that of the concentric approach some days to come. So under the concentric approach, we would talk about trying to sequence the content, okay, from known to what? To unknown. From known to what? To unknown. Even that of the spiral approach also share same kind of commonality with that of the concentric approach. Only that with the spiral approach, any time that you teach a new concept, a new content, or a new concept, the old concept has to be what? Has to be mentioned or has to be talked about. For instance,
Revisited.
Yes, has to be revisited more. So, for instance, today you've taught about marriage. Today you have taught about marriage. Tomorrow, if you are to teach that of, let's say, socialization, before that you would talk about the socialization, you have to revisit whatever that you said about marriage before you build on that to introduce the new kind of what? New kind of the content. That is just by the way. What I'm saying is that when we talk of the patterns of the curriculum, there are those aspects that I mentioned. And I said they are based on how the content in reference to the curriculum is being organized and is being what? Is being structured. So based on how the content of the given curriculum is being structured and being organized, we have these patterns. So the first one is the core curriculum. What is the core curriculum? Core curriculum. It is the curriculum that contains compulsory subjects for all students, regardless of their various programs of study. Some examples include the English language, mathematics, science, information and communication, technology, and social studies. So we mean that per this curriculum, these areas of study are compulsory, such a way that no matter your program, you have to offer these kind of areas. That is why we are saying that it is a core curriculum. The subject in this curriculum constitute the base for all the knowledge we acquire in school. For instance, the medium of instruction in Ghanaian schools is English language. Pupils who can communicate effectively in this language understand better what teacher puts across. It also helps people to communicate with other people who cannot speak any Ghanaian language. The main motive behind the core curriculum is therefore to equip students with the needed skills and morals to make them better citizens. So what we mean here is that the core curriculum is also known as the basic studies or common learning and general education. And general education is compulsory for all students. As I've already indicated, this type provide learner in addition to elective courses of their of their choice. So examples of subjects under core curriculum in the senior secondary school in Ghana are social studies, integrated science, mathematics, and English. It is a distinguishing portion of curriculum required of all students from those which have specialized functions or electives. The core curriculum is the most ambitious attempt to provide for integration to serve the needs of learners and to promote active learning and more significant relationship between schools and the real life situation. The core curriculum, as described in this section, possesses the following features. They constitute a portion of curriculum that is required for all students. That is what I have already mentioned, that it's compulsory. They fuse subject matter, usually English and social studies. Their content center on problems that cut across the various disciplines. The primary methods of learning is problem solving using all applicable subject matter. They are organized into blocks of time, usually 2 or 3 periods under core teacher, with possible use of traditional teachers and other as resource persons. They encourage teachers to design with with students. So let's sum up all what I've said here, then we would progress to the next level. 1, we are saying that these core subjects we are talking about seem to provide some kind of basic skills through which learners could also function in other subject areas. The other subject areas are the elective courses. So if you have selected any program that you want to offer, apart from the subjects that are more or less fixed to the program, there are some subject areas that are compulsory, whether you like it or yes. What we are saying is that, for example, the English language, You see, for you to function in any of the elective subjects, it is through English language, because English language is a medium of instruction in all the elective courses. So if you don't take in the English language, at the end of the day, you might not possess the necessary skills that will let you function in the elective course. Except that maybe the Ghanaian language, which we might use some other local dialect to impact such kind of instruction. But apart from that, definitely you might need English language, okay, to function in other subject areas. I also mentioned that the main motive behind the core subject is therefore to equip students with the needed skills and morals to make them better citizens. We are saying that the core curriculum, like the social studies, the mathematics, the science, information technology, and others, would also provide you some kind of skills that will let you what to function well in your community and also become a better learner in future. Okay. Then we are saying that of the core curriculum, or the subjects that are core, you realize that they also have some other subjects in place of them. They seem to constitute different other subjects, or they have several subjects that have been made to constitute such kind of core subjects. So, for instance, when you pick that of the social studies, when you pick that of the mathematics, when you pick that of information communication technology, they seem to be one subject, but there are some other subjects in them. That is where I said they seem to fuse other subject matter. For instance, the English language and that of the what? The social studies. When I talk about the English language, there are some other subject areas in them. Okay, we have literature. Are you okay? And some other subject areas that are also part of the English language. Interscience, the same. Okay, and we can also say that they center on programs that cut across different subject areas. I think it is the same. Then their primary method of learning is problem solving. Problem what? Solving. What it means that such subject areas also help learners and students to solve what? Problems. And we are also saying that such subject areas help the teachers to work with the learners. Work with the learners, maybe in the sense that it would, such subject areas promote an environment or opportunity for teachers to work together with their students. So, my good friends, now in exam, what you can be asked to talk about, okay, is the advantages of the core curriculum. The advantages of the core curriculum. So, what do you think are some of the advantages of the core curriculum? Let's look at some of them. What are some advantages? Please, are you there? What are some advantages of the core curriculum? Yeah. Adama. Salamatu. Salama, to your hand is up. Talk. Salina.
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
the core curriculum provides the basis of learning. Every
Provide
student may have to pass, yes, every student or every learner may have to pass through this subject so that it will enlighten you or lead you into the other fields of selection or other fields of priority. So, for instance, when we engage in the social studies with this curriculum that we are studying, some sort of mathematics will come in, sometimes physics will come in, sometimes science will come in, sometimes English is in. So, after delving deeper into all these fields, you will come out with basic knowledge concerning other fields that had to be studied critically.
Thank you, Auntie Salina. Yeah, I want to Michael. 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 In exam, they can ask you, okay, we can ask you to write maybe 5 advantages of the core curriculum. So, yeah, you have to learn in that form. It is an objective that we can create meaning. Okay, we would ask you to maybe you want to test whether you know the meaning of core curriculum. But in the how do you call it? The essay test, nobody will ask you what is core curriculum. No. Yeah, Bright, Sheme. Bright, your hand is up, but you are not talking. I don't know why you have been putting up your hands, but you are not talking. Awuni.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The core subject are often interconnected, helping to see the bigger picture. So they help your cohesion.
Okay, so these are some of the advantages. One, learners develop problem solving skills. If you do recall, I mentioned that it provide the various skills, okay, that help the learners to be problem solvers, so that they're able to fit into in the real world situation. Because in future, the learners can face some kind of challenging problems, and based on the skills that they have learned through this core subject, they'll be able to use them to solve their problems. Then it allows learners' view to be respected by teachers, since one of the characteristics of core curriculum is that they encourage learners to work with their teachers. If learners are to work with their teachers because of the fact that it's a problem solving, the learners' views are being respected by the teacher involves learners in the preparation, the presentation, and the reflection of the teaching and learning. At the end of the day, the child's view is being respected, or the child is being involved in the teaching and learning activities. Then the core curriculum, okay, help the students to develop some kind of special aptitudes and talents which cannot be taught through the optional courses. Are you okay? Or apart from the aptitude, when I talk of the aptitude, this is APTITUDES. This kind of aptitude here means talent, special talents. Are you okay? Of the learners. So I am saying that apart from the talents that the learners would obtain from the elective courses, they can also learn some kind of special aptitudes from the core curriculum, which would also help them to make a living. Then apart from that, the core curriculum provides avenue for society to nurture its learner into the culture by equipping them with the fundamental knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes for effective participation in the way of life of what? The society.
Sir, please come again.
I am saying that the core curriculum provide avenue for society to nurture its learner into the culture. Provide avenue for society to nurture its learner into the culture by equipping them with the fundamental knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes. You see, the basic skills that we said, definitely the subject would offer to the learners are the values, the skills, and the attitudes. So they are those things that we are saying they are fundamental. Okay, so if you look at the core curriculum. Okay.
Now, Bright, so girl, so you're two now de train, adding. Yashabre, why? What is this?
Okay, so looking at the little that we have said about the core curriculum, for instance, the definition, the features, and others that we have mentioned, and the advantages that we have talked about. What do you think are some of the disadvantages of the core curriculum? The disadvantages are part of the slides, but I think it has not been made available to you. You get it. Okay, I will say through my documents and you have it. It's part of it, so don't worry. Okay. So what do you think are some of the disadvantages of this core curriculum? Tell me something. Okay. Yeah, Awuni. Paul. 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 Yeah, Paul. Okay, one, the core curriculum imposes courses on learners even without their desire to offer it. You know, but you were not telling me. Don't you know that the core curriculum imposes courses on learners even without their desire to offer it? So in this case, core teaching is demanding task requiring that special training. So we want to say that core teaching demand some special training because there are some other subjects that have been fused into them. Okay, teachers have to study courses out of their wish to teach learners since the society requires learners to learn out of what? Choices. You see, when we pick the core subjects, we want to say that normally they provide the learners some kind of skills that will let them function in the society. And as a result of that, teachers have to learn some other subject areas which is out of their wish, whether they like it or not, so that they will be able to let their students function in the society. Again, it put too much pressure or stress on teachers where there are large classes. This might be attributed to the fact that the courses offered are compulsory and all students offer them. Put too much pressure on the teacher, so it becomes a bit burdensome in the sense that because it is being offered by all students, we can have a large class size, and that would demand that teacher workload have to be increased, and the teacher would be pressured and stressed beyond what is expected of him. Please, is there any other disadvantage that we can also think of?
Sir, kindly repeat the last point.
it put too much pressure or stress on the teacher where there are large classes. Okay. Now let's pick what we call the subject curriculum. Yeah, Alidu. Oh, okay. Let's look at the subject
So,
curriculum. What? Yeah.
so since there are core subjects that to be taught across the schools, all learners study the same subject regardless, wherever you find yourself, and your background and your readiness. Since
Yes.
it is core, everybody is doing it, and wherever you are, whatever you have to do it. So I think that's one of the disadvantages. Whether you have the ability or the talent, you will do it.
So
And
you
now,
want to say it doesn't take individual difference into consideration, maybe something like that.
exactly, it doesn't. It doesn't take
It doesn't
individual
take
difference
individual
into
difference into
consideration.
consideration.
Yes.
Yes. It's compulsory and by force.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's look at subject curriculum. What is the subject curriculum? Subject curriculum. What is it? Subject curriculum. We have looked at the core curriculum. We are looking at the subject curriculum. Subject curriculum. Okay, so when we talk of the subject curriculum, or the subject matter curriculum, it is a curriculum that makes room for in-depth study and acquisition of knowledge in a particular subject, leading to broadening of outlook and expertise in that particular subject matter. It is a curriculum type that is intended to gather all the needed knowledge that the subject has to know, that the student has to know to become an expert. I am saying that it is a type of curriculum that is intended to gather all the needed knowledge that the student has to know to become an expert. The teacher here begins everything from scratch and practically sees the teaching and learning process. In reality, the subject curriculum is the syllabus for a particular subject. For instance, the syllabus for management studies can be termed a subject curriculum. Likewise, the others. So what it means is that such a document contains a curriculum issues on only one subject. So on the subject curriculum. We want to say that the subject curriculum or the subject matter curriculum, the subject matter curriculum is the oldest and still the prevailing form of organizing a curriculum in senior high schools. The subject curriculum organizes the curriculum into variable number of subjects, each of which purportedly represent a specialized and homogeneous body of content. It can be said to be an organizational pattern that breaks the school program into discrete subject areas. Each subject has its own logical order, and teaching and learning take place according to a specified sequence decided on by the subject specialist. The subject matter curriculum was also influenced by what? A doctrine which stressed that every subject is made up of a body of systematized knowledge, which must be what? Passed on to the learner because of its role in promoting societal stability and progress. That is according to Tyner and Turner, 1980 and 1962. The subject matter curriculum involves the groups of knowledge of similar nature into subjects such as the English language, economics, history, mathematics, or music. Charles 1962 admit that the subject matter curriculum is the oldest and still the prevailing form of organizing a curriculum, especially in high schools. So we want to say that, pay attention. The subject matter curriculum is the curriculum that
Hello, sir.
puts much emphasis on
Hello, sir.
academic skills. Yeah,
Hello, sir. Please, your line is
yeah,
breaking.
Selena,
Your line is
it's
breaking.
breaking.
Can you please, yes, can you please reposition yourself? Thank you.
Okay. So we want to say that the subject matter curriculum is a kind of curriculum that puts emphasis on academic fields such as economics, history, and geography. And we also want to say that the subject matter curriculum, okay, is a body of knowledge or a body of similar knowledge that have been put together and been called a subject. TNU, a body of a similar knowledge that have been put together and called a subject, such as history, geography, economics, and others. So in reality, the subject matter curriculum is the syllabus for a particular subject. So what it means is that it is more or less a document that contains a curriculum issue on only one subject. So we have a body of knowledge that have been put together and called social studies. It's a subject matter curriculum. A body of knowledge that have been put together to form a particular subject, such as maybe economics. One feature of this curriculum is that the subject matter is presented logically. Experts are used in the development of the curriculum. The learner is taught subject matter curriculum from the first day until university. And we are saying that it is the oldest form of curriculum, and it does prevail in our senior high school. It is a form of a pattern that is used to organize our curriculum in our senior high school. So we are looking at a variable number of subjects. Each represents a homogeneous and a specialized content which has been named a subject. So a body of knowledge that seems to put our school subjects into different forms. So we have English here, we have mathematics here, we have economics here, because a body of knowledge that has been put under each of them is homogeneous. It's a specialized form. What is being contained under one subject area is not in another one. Please, have you gotten something? Now, before we bring our lecture to a close, okay, let's try to look at the advantages of the subject matter curriculum. What do you think are some of the advantages of the subject matter curriculum? Tell me some. One, Philip, give us one advantage of the subject matter curriculum. Anata.
Yes, sir. It facilitates specialization.
It promotes specialization.
Yes, please.
Okay. Promotes specialization. What else? Mm-hmm. Yeah, coming.
So yeah, so it helps to bring out the best out of the students. Yeah, it helps to identify the strong side of the students.
In what sense?
Sir, please, it also helps the student to get in-depth knowledge about a particular subject.
Yeah, it makes room for in-depth study and acquisition of knowledge in a particular subject. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. I wanted the second student to justify his point, and you came in. Kobina, so I wanted you to re-echo, okay, on what you said. Okay. So
Yes, so
it does also.
what I was trying to say is that. So what I was trying to say was that with the specific subject areas, it helps to identify the where the child is able to do well. So for instance, in terms of art class and then mathematics class, you can see that the child is doing well in the art class. So you help to build his capabilities towards the arts more, so that he carries that along.
Okay,
That was
thank
what.
you.
You're welcome.
Yes, it is true. Okay. Then it also improved the learner's thinking capabilities as it featured by the transmission of accumulated wisdom of the generation to the younger ones. We are saying that it improved the learner thinking capabilities as it is featured by the transmission of the accumulated wisdom of the generation to the younger ones. What do we mean? You see, with the subject matter curriculum, because we have said that it provides an in-depth knowledge to the learner. You see, as we seem to as we have said that the learner will be made to acquire detailed information of a particular subject. The more that we expose the learner to that kind of content, you see, the wisdom that have been accumulated in such kind of knowledge that the learner would acquire would expand the learner's horizon. And for that matter, the learner will become what? Broad-minded individual. Please, are you getting it? The learner would have in-depth knowledge.
Yes, please.
The in-depth knowledge here means that the subject matter curriculum, the teachers or the experts who handle these subject areas would give detailed information to the learners, unlike the integrated curriculum. So because that they will have detailed information about what that they are supposed to learn, they would be able to have accumulated wisdom that do exist in the various knowledge that are being impacted in them. And for that matter, such kind of learners become broad-minded. They will be able to develop their what? They will be able to develop their horizon as what? As individuals. Then it does also tend to reflect division of labor in research and therefore makes for the most logical, economic, and intellectual with appealing presentation of the subject matter. What do we mean here? It promotes division of labor and specialization because it will let the learners know where they can do well and where they are not well versed, or where they do not do well. Why? Because of the fact that they will capitalize on those that they think they are good and specialize in those areas so that they can function well. As somebody talk about this, talk about specialization. You see, specialization and division of labor, they are in the same word, continuum. You see, when you are able to know where that you're good and you develop in such area, you have what we call a comparative kind of advantage. Okay, comparative advantage in such area. You have specialized more into such areas. You have expertise and you can function well and develop some kind of benefits out of that. You see, there are some countries that are doing well in this, our modern sense of for the fact of this kind of specialization. They have been able to know where they have the expertise. And they have worked more in such areas. They have developed more in such areas. They possess great amount of knowledge in such kind of areas. And they are using such to have some kind of improvement in the life of people in their country. So that is also there. So specialization is there. Acquisition of knowledge, acquisition of in-depth knowledge is there. Then that of the division of labor is also there. Then the learner thinking capabilities is also there. So we have 4 important advantages of the subject matter curriculum. Let's wrap up with the disadvantages and we will bring the class to a close. So now tell me some of the disadvantages of the subject matter curriculum. One is what? Subject matter curriculum. One of the disadvantages.
I think
Hello.
knowledge is limited. Acquisition of knowledge is limited to only one area or to only. Hello, can you please hear me?
Yeah.
I said acquisition of knowledge is only one subject area. Only
Your network is not
area.
stable. Yeah. Okay. So we are saying that the students, okay, will not be able to possess knowledge from different subject area, but the acquisition of knowledge will be limited because they will be exposed to only one subject area. For that matter, they might not able to possess knowledge from different other subject areas. That is true. What else? Nana, do you want to say something? Okay, so it fails to effect transfer of learning. It fails to affect. This is the second disadvantage. Please, somebody is talking. It fails to effect transfer of learning and the interconnections of what ideas, concept, and facts in different subject areas. That is what you mentioned, that students will not able to do transfer of learning, or for the fact that their knowledge is being limited. They are not being exposed to different subject areas where they can infer when it comes to problem solving. When they are to solve a problem, they would use one particular field, the knowledge that they have acquired from one particular field to solve problem. Okay, so they cannot be connected to other ideas, other information that do exist in different subject areas to solve problems, and hence it would affect their transfer of learning. Please, are you okay with that?
Yes,
then we
sir.
are also saying that the subject matter curriculum tends to neglect social problems. How? It tends to neglect social problems. This is charged with separation of current and persistent social problems. It is accepted that because the subject organization consists of an exposition of what had been done in the past, and commit the student to the mastery of this knowledge, it is necessary, it would necessarily ignore current social issues and conflict. What do we mean here? What we mean is that because of the fact that the subject matter curriculum would expose learners to some body of knowledge that had existed over a longer time, it might not necessarily dwell on the current social problems, but we'll talk about some aspect of history, some body of knowledge that existed in some donkey years ago. And for that matter, that might not have in touch of social problems. So we are saying that it might neglect social problems. Yeah? Is there any other? Okay. Another problem is that it fails to develop habits of what? Effective thinking. The subject matter curriculum, okay, would also not help students to develop the habit of what? Effective thinking. Why? This is because this curriculum dwells much on mastery of conclusions of thought rather than upon the mastery of what? Of the processes by which a conclusion were derived and confirmed. This is what that means. What we mean here is that the students wouldn't able to develop the habit of effective thinking, in the sense that most of the issues that will be taught under this curriculum are those things that help students to build conclusion, to conclude on some kind of situations and some kind of circumstances. But what we are saying is that how to develop that thinking that led to the conclusion. Students cannot do that. They can conclude, but the various situations that create such kind of conclusions cannot be done. It is as a result of this that we are saying is that we are saying that it would not help students to develop the habit of what? Effective thinking. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the disadvantages. Yeah, McDonald, you want to say something?
Yes, I'm a little bit confused here because in the advantages you made mention of the fact that it improved the learner's thinking abilities, and the disadvantage to you're saying that it fails to develop the habit of effective thinking.
Yes. So the effective thinking that we are raising here, the emphasis is on the fact that the subject matter curriculum will provide the students the mastery of conclusion rather than upon the mastery of the processes by which conclusion were derived and confirmed. So students can arrive at conclusion, but when they come to the process that led to the conclusion, students cannot create them. Are you okay? So it is there that they might lack that effective thinking. So not thinking, not thinking per se. I think they can think, but the effective thinking is different from the normal thinking. If you can make conclusion is a way of thinking, because if you cannot think, you can't make conclusion. But the processes that will lead to a given conclusion is what we are talking about here. That is where we have the emphasis. So the habit of making effective thinking, as in how to arrive at a particular conclusion, the steps that we need to follow before we would arrive at a conclusion, is what students wouldn't able to do. But how to conclude they could able to do all for the fact that various knowledge and situations that are being created under the subject matter curriculum are those that they are those that the students will be exposed to. Please, are you a bit convinced here? Apart from that, we can also say that the fact that the content of the subject is presented in an expository form has usually meant that the individual learns by repetition and memorization. This means that it places little emphasis on what? On reflection. So you see this one. We still want to say that under the subject matter curriculum, students learn through what we call expository. And if it is something that we are to go by, expository here means students will definitely learn through repetition and what? And memorization. If they learn through repetition and memorization, then it means that the students wouldn't able to reflect well. They wouldn't able to reflect well. When we say reflection, is whereby you'll be able to think critically to solve problems. Then it means that the reflection of the students will be at what? At stake at the end of the day. So please, these are some advantages and disadvantages. You could also go, or you should also go and learn more, add more to it. Please, any question at this point? Hello.
Hi, sir. Hi, doctor.
So, as I have indicated,
Sir,
I'll go through.
sir, please.
Yeah, madam. Selena.
Yes, sir. May I ask, can you please give us the books, or we are only to resort to the slides?
Yeah, we only use the slides, okay? We don't even have the book. We don't have a book. This content that we are presenting, if you are to follow any other material, you get it wrong.
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
I was
It's
thinking maybe you have some sort of compiled notes that will be given to us as model, so that we will add it to the slides and then we get the in-depth definition of things that is expected. But
you know
since you
one
are
thing.
saying we should use the slides, we will see how we go about it.
Yes, because
Sir, with this life, they don't have the advantages and the
I told you that I have the advantages somewhere, so I'll push that one to you. Okay. Oh, did you hear that?
No, sir, please.
I said advantages and disadvantages are not part of this slides. I have them there. I would check through my documents and add that one to what that you have.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
You would see that the curriculum studies that the that those in distance education, okay, offer, the content is different. Those that are doing sandwich, the curriculum studies that they do, the content is different. Then those that are also offering this program, the curriculum studies that they do, the content is different. So if you are not careful and you do not follow the right type of content, at the end of the day, you are going to suffer. You will learn something that will not fall within what you are supposed to learn, and it will go against you during the exam. Are you okay? So please,
Hello, sir.
yeah.
Yeah, please. Can you give us all the slides so that we can go and print them together and be learning it?
No.
Oh, okay.
What
Because
we
I've
are going
seen.
to do each day, I will make them available so that you read before you come to lecture.
Okay.
There are some of you,
Okay.
when you take the material, you don't even come for the online session.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I have already indicated, if you are not part of this group, if you don't belong to the Riverview Center, that of the Junior Center, find your group and join. Because at the end of the day, when you are being asked to compile the names, the index numbers for any other decision making, you will not be captured. If even you are captured on this center, if you are being captured as part of this center, it will go against you because you are not part of this one. Find your center, your group, and join. I am handling only the Riverview and that of what? Sunyoin Center. So it's better you know where you belong and join that particular kind of center or that particular kind of group. Thank you very much. If there is no other question, we will end here and continue next time.
Master.
Yeah, Asante, Michael, and Linda.
Hello, sir. So my question is, I had wanted to add something to what you said. We have some centers too. That one you cannot find it on the timetable that this is a center you belong to. But the program is truly online, social studies. Myself, for instance, Techiman Center. That Techiman Center,
Okay,
it is not on the.
Techiman, you are part of Sunyoin.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Techiman, you are part of Sunyoin.
Thank
you.
Sir, please, what about those of us in the Serioso, the Watiko campus? Because before I joined this group, I saw that it was online sentence, and then I think Zenith or something. Then I joined. So I don't know why you are saying that we are not part.
Yeah, you are not part. I am teaching that of the Riverview and Sunyoin. Okay, that is what that they have given us. When go through the timetable, you see the sentence that I am supposed to teach. I am God and Asante. So you see the sentence that I am supposed to handle. We have that of Watiko and others that you are talking about. Follow the timetable, you will see that one. That is why I created the Sunyoin, a center for that of the Sunyoin and the Riverview. I created these two centers, pages that is made up of the students of these centers, so that at the end of the day, I will always push my link in such kind of centers. Okay, that is what I've been instructed to do. Like Techiman is part of Sunyoin. I am not preventing you to join. After all, what you can join, but I don't know if anything happens that maybe an exercise has to occur, okay, in your group, and you do it in this group. I don't know what would happen in future, but I'm saying that find your center and join. That would be more appropriate. Thank you very much. Is there any other further question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Please, we are from the TASI, that's Tamale Center. We are part of the online centers, and I think the online centers, we have the online centers, and then the Sunyani, and then we are all part of this group.
Brian, you are not trying to understand what I'm saying. The social studies program, so far as method of teaching social studies, curriculum studies, and all the social studies courses, specific social studies courses, we do online for all. But we are 3 lecturers that handle social studies courses. 3 lecturers. Are you okay? So they have shared the centers for these lectures. So if you all join one particular page or platform, and other platforms are not being joined by students, which group of people are they going to teach? That's why I'm speaking this way. You follow the timetable. These are online. This this uh, this course rather is an online kind of course. But what I'm saying is that we are three social studies lecturers who handle this same course, and they are all online. So it is not only this our interaction that is online. The other lecturers who are handling this same course are also doing it online. So call them, go to the timetable, okay? Visit the timetable, call the lecturers, and know when they are to meet with you and join those kind of interactions. Labi.
Hello, sir. Thank you very much. My concern
Sir,
has to do with in the course of lecturing, you keep emphasizing that you have pasted the slides online. I think about 3 days ago. As a matter of fact, I've gone through the page and I didn't see anything in that regards.
Is it,
So I'll be glad if you can repost it on the page for us. Thank you.
I don't know the page that you're talking about. The page that I know is the one that lectures are on it. And then because lectures are on it, I can't push that on that one. Okay? That is why I push it on the centers that I know I have to handle. So I push the slides on that of the Sunyoin and the Riverview centers. These are the two centers that I push the slides. Are you okay? If I'm on that slide that I'm on that page that you're talking about, I will definitely push it. But I don't even know that the page that you are talking about. Okay.
sir, please, oh, please, I'm asking again. Please, you are Gideon Asante, right? Or
Gordon,
is it
yeah.
Gordon Asante? Yes, please. Sir, please, you are
Mm-hmm.
handling the online sentence, the Sunyane, and I think the Riverview. So the
Yes.
online, they are
Exactly.
part of your group. I joined through that link and I came here. So
Ah.
I'm even confused.
What you are saying, I know I'm handling online students. Do you understand the online? Online is what we are doing. Which groups, okay? Which groups of students am I supposed to handle online? Are you okay? The UCC facilitator over there should
Hello, sir.
come in and just justify this discussion
Hello,
that
sir.
we are raising. Yeah, my good friend.
Sir, I want to help the lady, please. Please, I want to ask her, where is the center located? Her center.
Please, I'm at
That means you
Watiko.
wouldn't be part of this the Sunyan Center. So then what you have to do is, when you take your timetable, you could see the lecture, the one supposed to be taking you. Because right now I'm holding the timetable with me right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
one, I asked the doctor that I'm in Techima because I know really Techima is near to Sunyan. So by all means, those in Techima will be part of Sunyan. And really, when I asked him, he also agreed that yes, it's true. By looking at where you mentioned, far away from your center to Sunyan, I'm not sure you will be part of Sunyan Center. So you get time when you get home, or I don't know, after the lectures, and you take your timetable and read through, you will know the center. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Yes,
Okay,
so
Sir,
thank you.
the
can I come in,
UCC,
Doc?
yeah, my good friend, I'm coming.
Doc, please,
The
can I come in?
UCC facilitator on the platform should come in and justify all these things that we are talking about, give detailed explanation so that students would. It is because of this that the monitor of the UCC called me and was saying that the students are complaining that I have not joined the link. Meanwhile, I was teaching the students. If you don't know where you belong, find it before you go there and report that the lecturer is not joining or has not joined or anything of that sort. So if you want to join this group, I don't have any problem. But I don't know what will happen in future. In case they might need you, okay, in other groups, it is where maybe you'll be affected. I don't have any problem if you still want to join. But what I'm saying is that I am to handle that of Chinwe and the review. Testimony is part of Chinwe. Are you okay? Previously, we had wanted to create a center for Testimony, but we were not getting the students. So we attached that of Testimony to what? To that of Chinwe. That is why I was able to know that Testimony is part of the Chinwe Center. Okay. Yeah, so Linda.
Hello, yeah.
Hello, sir, I want to speak to the lady who just left. I want to assist her. I don't know whether you can pick my number. I have the timetable here. So that after when the doctor leaves, you call me so that I'll assist you to locate your area. Please. Thank you.
Hello, doctor.
Please, you can give me your number, okay?
Doctor.
Yeah.
Please, please
go to the message section. I'll put it at the message section.
Talk.
Please, doctor. Our center. We are. They told us that we are less than 10. So for us, since we started the program, we do everything online. So we are online center. So if you look at the timetable, the first group of people you are handling, we have the online center, Sunyani, and there are 3 group of people you are handling. So all the yes. So if you take the timetable, the first is the online. That's a Gordon Asante, and this is our link. And I'm from Temale. We are 7. We are just 7. So we are online. Everything we do online. So
if that is the case, I've now understood.
Yes. So we are the online centers.
Okay.
Centers. We are the online centers.
Okay. I've now understood.
We don't go for face to face.
Okay. So you can join.
Hello, doctor.
Yeah, those